It's 2000. I had just received my master's from Stony Brook University in clinical social work, emphasis in school social work and clinical social work with the drug and alcohol aspect. And I'm working in junior high school 265, and I'm grade level counselor, 7th, 8th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade counselor. And I've always been an artist, and I've always enjoyed comic books and poetry and doing open mics. And I just needed an outlet after studying for 2.5 years of writing 50-page papers and writing my thesis. And my children were very young at the time, and I wanted to, do something in a cathartic manner. So I wanted to basically bleed something out of my head. There was an artist there, an art teacher, Andre Razin, and being a comic book fan, I would walk into his room and see all this fantastic art. So I asked this gentleman, would you like to put a book together? He says, put a book together? How are we going to do that? And so we start this journey, the journey that would become Poeartistry, by just combining our art and our poetry, two artists combining into one. Subsequently, 2 years later, or during that time, excuse me, I approached Adelphi University about printing the book. Had no money for a full-color print. Black and white print, you can print hundreds of copies for less than $1,000. Black and white exponentially skips that step, and you have to pay thousands of dollars for what is called full-color print. So Adelphi University says that, okay, we'll talk about it a bit. And in November of 2000, 2001, excuse me, they endowed me with approximately $20,000 to print up the first copy of Poeartistry. It's currently in its third version in its digital format, but its first version, 500 copies, which basically I gave the majority of them away, just excited about having a book. They gave me approximately $20,000 to not only print the book, but to also do a show bringing the book to life through performance art, and an art show, a 30-day art show in February of 2002 at Adelphi University. The reason why I wanted to approach the book through art and poetry is primarily as an emphasis on the learning pathways. I felt as a child I really appreciated comic books, and I would look at the pictures first and then try to make out what the thought bubbles were saying. I felt if we could do this exponentially in a book of poetry with full-scale photos, mosaics and oils on canvas, that children and adults alike would be able to see and retain the meaning in this, as I would call it, social welfare poetry. Needless to say, I was astonished by the reaction. People would use it in a cathartic fashion. I wrote this piece called Surviving Survival, about children surviving the addiction of their parents. Another one called Between Here and There, as young women would go through their relationships, their dysfunctional relationships, either with themselves or with others. And people would approach me after either the performance or reading the book, and they would tell me that this was something that they're going to carry with them the rest of their lives. And I felt that doing it that way, words and pictures, the words to the left, the picture to the right, to make one whole artistic picture, that they would be able to retain it. Subsequently, Poeartistry is now used as an anti-bullying technique and a professional development technique. It's been shown everywhere from Winston-Salem, the National Black Theater Festival. I presented at the National Association of Alternative Educators. I presented on more than a few occasions here in Uniondale for professional development of all shapes, sizes, and colors. All of our employees have been exposed to it. I'm very honored to be able to use anything that I do artistically in this fashion for professional development. Yes.